reach the top somehow.
Yes, my Stray Dog family, it's time to keep moving on and say a good night to the world and extend a very pleasant night, in particular to St. Kitts and Nevis and to the entire Caribbean region. To my Stray Dog family in the Kittitian and Division diaspora, wherever you are on the World Wide Web. Some of you are in Africa. There's some of you in Europe. There are some of you in Asia. And there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I can't say good morning, and I will say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourself. But it's time for me to say welcome all to Straight Talk, another edition of Straight Talk on this 18th day of January in the year of our Lord 2024. And oh, how time just seemed to be rolling on, my Straight Dog family. And I always consider it important to welcome my first timers, and I thank all those who share the link, and please continue to share the link. So when you do, we have first timers, and we do want to welcome them. Just it won't be your last time with us, but just to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let us in the process continue or try to get St. Kitts and Nevis back to that enviable position of being number one, if not one of the freest countries in the entire world. And this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And I always take the opportunity to remind you that as your host, and in particular for our first timers, I continue to pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I am forever reminded of the words of a favorite hymn of mine written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn. And it goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets. These are the words. Speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let us seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of doing God's will. So my Straight Talk family, I can assure you that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program to make it more interesting, neither by omission or exaggeration. Because Straight Talk is not about sensationalism or creating excitement at the expense of accuracy. Because we always lean on the facts, as I consider it my duty, my bounden duty, to always present the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance, good governance in our country of St. Kitts and Nevis. And together, or through this program, we are joined together, I should say, with people across the Federation. We are joined together with people in the diaspora all around the world. Some we know because we would have met them, others we do not know, and many we will never meet, physically that is. And some will agree with the positions of truth that are advanced each time on this program. And some will obviously disagree. And that's fine, because as I always say, we promote diversity. But please, it would sadden me, my Straight Talk family, if we start to become disagreeable. So let's just thank Almighty God in the process nonetheless for helping us to understand how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us hope and pray for the day when we all will sing His praise together. So welcome again, my Straight Talk family, and thanks again for those who share the link as you bring first timers, and please continue to do so. And for the first timers, I must also inform you that Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday night from 8 to 10 in the PM. I must also inform you that it is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls, we do include your emails, and if you're so minded, call in. The numbers are on your screen. They are 663-6672, that's the local number. Or the overseas line is 646, that's the area code, 829-6672. But there are those who like what I call the cloak of anonymity. As I call it, we give you access, therefore, by or via our email platform, and the address is Straight Talk Patches. That's one word, STRAIGHTTALKPATCHES @gmail.com. I will never be forgiven if I don't extend a special welcome to my junior brigade. Yes, the young people are on board. Some I meet, they don't want their names called, but I know they are logged in and locked on. Young Dwayne, that's our youngest Brigade. Say hi to his mom and his dad. Tristan, I trust you would have reminded your mom that tonight is Thursday night and Straight Talk comes her way. Young Shama over there in Frigate Bay, trust that school is going well. Kevin Hanley as well in Nevis, goes to the Charlestown Secondary High School. Trust you are doing well. Say hi to your parents, your mom I met the other day. And young Rook Costa over there in Carolina. Jamal in Anguilla. And yes, I know you'll expect this. That special lady in St. Louis. Good night. She is smiling. I can see her there. I haven't heard any obituaries, but if there are anyone who have lost loved ones, we extend our condolences to them, and I trust and hope that you will understand that death is a process. And for the first timers, I usually present a dissertation or a short thesis. And my thesis tonight I have titled same A Foot Soldier, Whistleblower, and Bloody Noses, my Straight Dog family. And I will discuss the thesis right after my observations in review. I just have two observations in review in the interest of time tonight. And our observations in review, we know, are an integral part of the program, and you look forward to that. After which, as I said, will move into my thesis. And following my thesis, I will then include your calls and your emails, as mentioned earlier, so as to allow full participation in the program. When I do, I want you to be guided by the rules of brevity. Sometimes we have to understand there are many others who want to get into the program, and I know many of you are never out of words. So please, let's be guided by 2.5, 3 minutes maximum. For those who would call, we welcome your calls, we welcome your interventions, we welcome your involvement. And our observations review is a time when we highlight the current issues and we do some reflection. If you would have raised them before, we follow up. We then ask a few questions such as what was accomplished, how has it helped others, what has changed since, and what can be expected next, and what new we have learned as a people. And our first observation we are following, we heard in the news just last night of this incident somewhere in the country area. And we got this from Chira Flanders of ZIZ TV. She reported this, my Straight Talk family.
A 15-year-old has been wounded by gunshot from a licensed firearm handled by its holder. The incident, which happened earlier this week, was confirmed by police on Wednesday. It is alleged that the minor broke into the gun owner's house and was injured. The minor is being warded at the JNF General Hospital. Police say details will be provided later.
And yes, we have not heard an update from the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis police force, but we trust that minor is in a state of recovery. Our second observation as well, we discussed on our last program. I recall the caption, a DPP full of chat but no action. And I happened to listen to an interview with our new Director of Public Prosecutions, Adley Smith, and we welcome him to St. Kitts. And we want to play rather his an excerpt from his interview just yesterday, I think it was, and unedited, we present this information in terms of his decision to address the non-compliance as it relates to our integrity in public life legislation and the failure to file assets and liabilities as required by the law. And Director of Public Prosecutions, Adley Smith, who comes across as a no-nonsense man, but he seemed to be in a delay mood as it relates to the law, the rule of law in St. Kitts and Nevis. And he said this, my straight dog family, this is what he said. Adley Smith.
As the defense speaks about the Section 30 offense, which they charge on, without a reasonable excuse or without a proper excuse, something for not filing the declaration. You can't say one. I know they say ignorance of the law is no excuse at the same time, but at the same time, maybe for some reason, some persons just may not have known. I know I was present in a commission where a particular person indicated, well, he just didn't know that he was supposed to have filed, and he didn't realize until the press conference, right? So persons, we want to give them a fair opportunity, even with the last press conference. The last press release that I issued, well, the only press release that I've issued. I said, I still, notwithstanding what I would have said last time, I still want to give one last chance. I believe people think that nothing is going to happen. I think the real test of what I'm saying will be on the 1st. Everybody will be watching for on the 1st of February to see if you file. And I say, it don't matter if you're in the Nevis Island Assembly, or if you're a member of Parliament, or if you are one of the names, one of the persons I want to call it, whether it be magistrate, whether it be registrar, whether it be member of statutory body, it don't matter. Right? I've gone to what I think considerable lengths to give you an opportunity in which to file.
Responsibility, as I said in our last program, is not debatable, but should we take his word? When someone said a public officer above the salary scale of K40 has to be in a senior position in the public service, or has to be on a board, high level on a board in a corporation, and after so much talk and discussion about integrity in public life, did not know? Wow, I'll take that with a grain of salt, respectfully. But those are my observations in review for tonight, my straight dog family. And I move right into my thesis without hesitation. I have titled, for those who may have just joined me, I have titled my thesis tonight, I put soldier, whistleblower, and bloody noses, my straight dog family. And in my last episode, I made the point that based on the St. Kitts Nevis Constitution, it can best be understood that the framers of our Constitution took careful steps to ensure it guaranteed that there was always going to be a sober form of democracy in which we can all live happily with each other. In our democratic system, we all have the right to elect a government of our choice. But unfortunately, we don't always get the government we choose, for reasons I'm sure we are quite familiar with. Elections, we have learned, are a fundamental component of democratic governance, as they allow voters to select leaders and to hold them accountable for their performance in office. For that reason, the power that we have to choose our government is at the heart of popular sovereignty and the foundation of democracy. According to Wikipedia, popular sovereignty is the principle that the leaders of a country and its government are created and sustained by the consent of its people, who are the source of all political legitimacy. Many pundits believe, however, that popular sovereignty, being a principle, does not imply any political implementation. Leonard Levy notes of the doctrine of popular sovereignty that it relates primarily not to the Constitution's operation, its actual operation, but to its source of authority and supremacy, ratification, amendment, and possible abolition. It was Benjamin Franklin who expressed another concept when he wrote that in free governments, the rulers are the servants and the people, their superiors and sovereigns. In a representative democracy, the people elect officials to create and vote on laws, policies, and other matters of government on their behalf, as can be gleaned from the publication in the Cambridge University Press titled American Sovereigns, the People and America's Constitutional Tradition Before the Civil War. That's by Christian Fritz. Elections also serve to legitimize the acts of those who wield power, a function that is performed to some extent even by elections that are non-competitive. Elections reinforce the stability and legitimacy of the political community and help to facilitate social and political integration. In summary, my straight dog family, the power of the people to elect their government is a fundamental right in any democratic system, and election plays a crucial role in ensuring democratic governance. Of the 50,973 registered persons in St. Kitts Nevis, 29,554, or just over 57% of that number registered, turned out to vote at the 2022 general elections in St. Kitts Nevis, after deciding, I believe, which parties, policies, and leaders they preferred. And we recall the implosion of Team Unity that was doing so well. And many of the younger ones in particular did not join those parties that were vying for office, let alone to actively participate in and to promote them. Who are the few that join? Why do they join, and what do they do, we may ask? Well, just like in the past, political parties need members. They need membership for their subscriptions, also providing them with links into local constituencies and communities, and perhaps more or most importantly, for their contributions to the electoral campaigns. And they are the ones we'll call, for ease of understanding, foot soldiers. In the publication titled Foot Soldiers, Political Party Membership in the 21st Century by Tim Bale, Paul Webb, and Monica Poletti, they made reference to considerable research on British political parties and their members that has addressed such questions over the last 40 years, 4 decades. And the research suggested that the rapidly changing political landscape makes it desirable to revisit them. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, several persons feel that the experience of being a party member has not lived up to their expectations in many cases, because they want to have more influence on party policy and decisions, especially the foot soldiers, as they are called. They want to influence the elected leaders and even extend the rod of correction to steer these leaders away from the pitfall of corruption towards transparency and accountability, both considered as pillars of good governance. And this is what the Jew Labour Party promised to do if elected. And Duncan Biglice Watley, my friend, yes, we still have friends, is one of those committed foot soldiers, and he has turned the Federation upside down with his commentary, in which he expressed his total dissatisfaction as a foot soldier by Straight Dog family. And Biglice said this:
I made a special request for the foot soldiers. That's what we want to talk about tonight. The foot soldiers and how the foot soldiers are treated. Because if you look at your computer or your phone and you ask what foot soldiers be, one of the phone tell me the persons who do all the hard work trying to get a political party or a candidate into parliament and subsequently into government. They use you to get in office. They call you every day on the phone. Come, let's go. We're going canvassing. Come, let's go. We're going to knock up board. Come, let's go. We're going on the radio. Come, let's go. We're going on the internet. When government change, better about this government, Jesus. Because Labour better about Labour government. Some of them refuse to canvass, refuse to do this. But the foot soldiers were there marching left, right. Every night, making sure the cause was good, making sure this was done. The foot soldiers were there, while some people were in the background, hiding
in the background. That's normal. Until the party wins, they put on the red shirts or the yellow shirts, the orange shirts, and the biggest PLP, the biggest PAM, or the biggest Labour. But what of the future, my Straight Dog family, you may ask? And truth be told, increasingly, politics has gone digital, and an increasing proportion of a party's contacts with voters, real and potential, is through impersonal modes. Think of social media, mediated by party professionals and consultancy companies, using money gained from sources other than member subscriptions. Campaign funds from big donors who are promised half of the country in return for their support. These big donors help to buy the elections. And Dr. Jew, as the Labour Party leader himself, confess that elections are easily bought by Straight Dog family. Let's not forget this.
The election in St. Kitts and Nevis, whether you believe it or not, can be bought. It is not too expensive for a rich person to buy an election in St. Kitts and Nevis. This election has proven that.
Yes, last election, he said, has proven that it can be easily bought. His predecessor, Dr. Denzel Douglas, lamented on the late arrival of chartered flights with Labour voters on board back in 2015. Remember, he said this as well, my Straight Talk family.
I can say without fear of contradiction that had our flight as well been able to land, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party would now be continuing the tremendous work which has made St. Kitts Nevis the bright spot of the region. In fact, it is well known that on that final flight that arrived after the polling stations were closed, there was no less than 99 passengers who were registered to vote for constituency number 1, Labour, and no less than 66 passengers registered to vote for constituency number 4, Labour. In these two constituencies, number 1, 4 votes separated us from the so-called victory, and 26 votes separated us from the victory in number 4. However, we who stand here before you, we are strong. We are not easily distracted or discouraged.
Could you imagine that, my Straight Talk family? 99 votes planed in, 56 planed in, up to thousands planed in, or jetted in, whichever term you prefer. But we ask the question, who paid for those flights? Is that a fair question to ask? But notwithstanding these facts, no political party can afford to gamble with discarding foot soldiers like Big Lice, or like my friend with the big red clock. I call him the Labour General Bugner, another foot soldier, who seemed to have been discarded by the soccer engineer in number 3. But the rights, responsibilities, and definition of citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis are clearly established, and this was done by embracing representation that the separation of powers, also checks and balances, my Straight Talk family. Or rather, you should say, by embracing representation, the separation of powers, and checks, also balances. Our system of the administration of justice is a contest between one side and the other. And there are rules. Furthermore, the Constitution of St. Kitts Nevis provides all of us with the right to freedom of expression. But I listened to a lengthy news item on our national television last night, and all I could have said was, wow. When I heard this, my Straight Talk family, I said, wow, when I heard this.
Government Minister Honorable Congress Maynard issued a statement on Wednesday, January 17, 2024, refuting claims made against him by political commentator Duncan Big Lice Watley. Maynard stated that, quote, all the allegations made against me by Mr. Watley, no matter how loudly he shouts them, are blatant lies, end quote. Maynard then went on to say that, quote, as a minister of government and in particular as minister with responsibility for Skilek, I have never used my position to engage in any illegal, corrupt or fraudulent practices for personal enrichment of any kind, end quote. In his statement, Maynard sought an apology and a retraction of the allegations within 48 hours. He also stated that he plans to pursue this case against Watley to the fullest extent of the law.
Apologize for what? I ask. And retract what? I also ask. Is this another attempt at the suppression of freedom of expression in our country? Because really, every minister has a constitutional duty to exercise general direction and control over his portfolio, his or her, I should say, portfolio subjects, my straight dog family. And if we perhaps go to the Constitution, it is clear, my straight dog family, under section 61, and it reads, and I quote, where any minister has been charged with responsibility for any department of the government, he or she shall exercise general direction and control over that department, and subject to such direction and control, every department of the government shall be under the supervision of a permanent secretary. So the PS is accountable to the minister, who has, as the Constitution says, the authority to exercise general direction and control of every department or cooperation, we may add, my straight dog family. So I asked the question, when I listened or read Congress's Facebook release, and I asked him the question, is Congress telling the country, for example, that Skellig is owed millions of dollars and he is not interested in seeing the delinquent customer lists? But he tells us each time that the government subsidizes Skellig to the tune of $9 million per month in order to save the country and we as customers from the fuel variation surcharge. We have heard and we know, at least I know, that Skellig is owed millions of dollars, and by some big companies and big firms and big investors. And he hasn't on no occasion requested a copy of the delinquent customer list. That's something you should see every month, my straight dog family. But the electoral process gets him back to the real issue here tonight, my straight dog family. It must remain competitive and force candidates and eventually elected representatives and or parties to expose their records and future intentions to public scrutiny, popular scrutiny, which facilitates the expression of public opinion, my straight dog family. Big Lies has a right not to respond, but to continue to ask hard questions. And not just Big Lies, all of us must ask the hard questions and do not allow anyone to suppress our fundamental right to free expression in this country. We must never allow that, my straight dog family. Never.
And you want apology, and you want this, and you want that, and you want compensation to do your job. I'm doing my job. I am doing my job. My job is to ask questions when there is doubt. So I still have to ask about the company. I still have to find out about the company and tell you all what my findings are. So don't let nobody put you on the wool over my eyes. And all I want you to know that this man here, so Big Lies, going to represent himself in court. Because I want to see the court going to tell me, as a citizen of St. Kitts Nevis, that I can't question my representative in Parliament. He's all of us representative, and I can ask a question. And I want to see who will tell me I can ask questions about the different entities around. Because if that is the case, as I've said before, we're wasting our time with all the legislation that we would have passed. We're wasting our time if we can't ask hard questions.
Yes, You must be able to ask hard questions, my straight dog family. The practice of fearless speech occupies a distinctive yet neglected role within the history of political thought. Political thought or political philosophy studies questions about power, justice, rights, law, and other issues related to governance. While some believe these concepts are static, political thought asks how they originated and to what effect. Just as Socrates' question, I should say, how should we be governed? It led to his execution. The question, what makes a government legitimate, can lead to political turmoil. What form should the government take? What do citizens owe their government? Or when, if, they should overthrow an illegitimate beg your pardon, government? My straight dog family, whistleblowing is an essential tool for ensuring transparency and accountability in politics. It helps to expose corruption and other forms of wrongdoing that would otherwise go unnoticed. However, it is important to have laws in place that protect whistleblowers from retaliation and provide them with the support they need to come forward. Big Lice blew his whistle, according to this Straight Talk family member. He blew his whistle and he got fired, my Straight Talk family.
You know, I don't really agree to what all the Big Lice guys said, but I still want to pick him up. I don't really know who he is, but I still gonna pick him up for coming out and talking against the injustices that he has saw, right? Remember now, they just passed the whistleblower law. If that man pass a whistleblower law and Big Lice blow his whistle and this man get fired, these are the things that the people of Thesis and Nevis got to be looking at. I don't know what these guys on the ground down there is looking at. They just passed another law, the whistleblower law. They passed the whistleblower law and then now Big Lice getting fired for blowing his whistle. That man got to be crazy, man. The people of Thesis and Nevis, they got to step up, bro. They got to step up, man. This man is victimized right now. This is the biggest degree of victimization. This man blew his whistle and then he got home.
My Straight Talk family, whistleblowing is a crucial aspect of democracy. It is a process by which individuals can report illegal or unethical activities within an organization or government without fear of retaliation. Whistleblowers play a vital role in exposing corruption, fraud, and other forms of wrongdoing that would otherwise go unnoticed. They help to ensure that those in power are held accountable for their actions and that the public is informed about what is happening behind closed doors. Big Lice said that he asked questions behind closed doors and got no answers. And this brings me to an article I read in Open Democracy. And according to this article, whistleblowers are essential to democracy because they help to hold power to account. In a functioning democracy, it is absolutely crucial for power to be held to account. Without Big Lice, we would still be in the dark about many of the things he raised. I saw a copy of the company, and the directors and the owners are quite interesting. He spoke about the company that got this $2 million contract. I'm not prepared to deal with that tonight. I always like to take my time when it comes to certain issues. So I'll take my time on that. But I have a copy of the company's registration particulars. But whistleblowing can be a risky business, however. Whistleblowers are often subjected to retaliation, harassment, and even legal action, which is what the so-called engineer Congress has threatened. All these revelations gave Dr. Drew and Congress bloody noses. So Drew, trying to suppress free speech, called Big Lies to a meeting, according to Duncan Watley, who informed us about this just last night, my Straight Talk family.
It is not a usual live for me, but I guess you guys would have heard what transpired after last week, Thursday night. I guess you all would have heard. But if you did not hear, let me inform you. On Monday, I attended a meeting with the Honorable Prime Minister, my boss. And we had a meeting in the morning, good meeting, we spoke, and came to a decision that he would have to relieve me of my duties as the advisor in the office of the Prime Minister because of conflict and pressure, of course. Some people thought that as an advisor I was out of place to question a sitting minister. And so it was agreed, I haven't seen anything yet official, but it was agreed that the best thing to do is to send me on my merry way and let the country, the government continue to function without me. I had no problem with that.
My Straight Talk family, that's why it is important to have laws in place that protect whistleblowers from retaliation and provide them with the support they need to come forward. And this was, or rather the DPP, our new DPP, Adley Smith, was in concurrence with that position, as he himself had this to say, my Straight Talk family.
I haven't seen an anti-corruption regime as robust insofar as what it covers and so on as St. Kitts and Nevis. I have not. Maybe Barbados probably comes close, because I know at one point I saw whistleblower legislation with respect to it, and I say, that's really good, because I don't see how one can pass anti-corruption legislation without that important component to go alongside it. Without whistleblowers, we'll never find out about corruption.
Without whistleblowers, to quote the DPP, we would never find out about corruption. So then it's kudos in order to Big Lies. His efforts are noteworthy, but one has to be cautious with the process nonetheless, as the Whistleblowers Protection Act number 20 of 2023, which is an act to deter and combat corruption and other improper conduct by encouraging and facilitating bona fide disclosures of such conduct and protecting the persons who make such disclosures. I believe, though, that the legislation is clear when it comes to the bona fide disclosures, as you can glean from an excerpt from the Act, Section 3, Magistrate Dog Family, Part 2, Section 3, which says protected disclosures. And it reads, and I quote here, that a whistleblower may make a protected disclosure to any of the following disclosure receiving authorities. That's why I said I'm cautious in terms of the procedure. And it lists the receiving authorities: Chairperson of the Integrity Commission, Special Prosecutor, Director of Public Prosecution, Ombudsman, Chief Medical Officer, or any other person that the minister may by order prescribe. And it continues, where a whistleblower makes a protected disclosure, the whistleblower shall ensure, as far as practicable, that the matter to which the disclosure relates falls within the area of responsibility of the authorized person. Notwithstanding, it continues or concludes, subsection 2, a whistleblower shall not be denied the protection by Part 3 merely on the basis that he or she made a protected disclosure to a disclosure receiving authority of a matter that does not fall within the area of responsibility of the disclosure receiving authority. And Section 6, yes, I think it is Section 6, Magistrate Dog Family, relates to content of, and content and form, rather, of disclosure. And it reads, a disclosure may be made orally or in writing and shall contain, as far as practicable, the following information. And it says the full name and address of the whistleblower. And the list goes on, my Street Dog Family. And it goes under subsection 2, where a disclosure is made orally, the person who receives the disclosure shall, within 24 hours of receiving the disclosure, cause the disclosure to be reduced into writing containing the particulars specified in subsection 1. And it concludes, a whistleblower shall not be denied the protection afforded by Part 3 merely on the basis of a defect in the form or content of a disclosure. That's very interesting, my Straight Dog Family. And that's why I said I believe the legislation is clear when it comes to bona fide disclosures. But whatever the procedures, whether in conformity with the law and or otherwise, the foot soldier Big Lice has given Dr. Jew and the so-called engineer a bloody nose, my Straight Dog Family. He has given them a bloody nose. And Straight Talk tried to contact Terence Crosman, but to no avail, so as to confirm the accuracy of this statement by Big Lice, because it is a serious statement as well, my Straight Talk Family, when he told us this about Crosman.
How much money Crosman going home with? It is alleged, and we could prove it, that Crosman is going home with almost, brace yourself, $110,000 a month. Are you hear what I say? Crosman is taking home about $110,000 a month. Well. We abuse Timothy Harris. We abuse the last board. We abuse the man of Circus Times. We abuse the man of Lisburd. We abuse all of them. How nasty they were. And you want to tell me you got a board? You got a board that come no worse than the board of a gun? They say the work ethic in the bank is so down. The people are demoralized. Cosman and all the board them.
My Straight Talk family, the Jew Labour Party has become, it seems like, a close, incestuous and criminal-dominated enterprise that brook no challenge and stamp out no corruption. And if this is accurate, let's look at it, my Straight Talk family. $110,000 accumulated. When thousands of poor people were taken off the PAP, if my mathematics, which is my strongest weak point, is accurate, that's over 200 persons that can be paid on the PAP. If one man is taking home that, I trust and hope it's just perhaps a one-off payment, Big Lice you may have seen in December when he got a bonus or something. Yes, he's in all these boards. But if that is accurate, and again, for full disclosure, I tried to contact Terence Crosman. I have his number, unless he changed it, but it was just going to a voicemail. But my Straight Talk family as well, if this minister or this minister's car is worth $110,000 US, imagine how many people that can pay on the PAP as well, my Straight Talk family. The world is on fire. January has started. Nothing's happening. Nothing won, they say. But my Straight Talk family, I must say as well that Dr. Drew brook no criticism of his friend and Attorney General Garth Lucian Wilkin, who got the first bloody nose when a High Court judge opined that he had broken the law on 3 separate occasions. Dr. Drew challenged everyone and never allowed anyone to speak ill of his Attorney General. He never broke any criticism of his AG, my Straight Talk family. But it is said that democracy cannot be run by a party that has no internal democracy. The Prime Minister, as I said, received another bloody nose. Congress as well. And Garth Lucian Wilkin, I repeat, got the first bloody nose. One for having to undo something that he should not have done in the first place. What goes, my father, is the question. And what goes is a foot soldier, whistleblower, and bloody noses, my Straight Talk family. That's what goes with the Jew Labour administration. And that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines, my Straight Talk family, and I will entertain your calls and your emails. As I stated earlier, the numbers on your screen. As I said, 663-6672 and or 646-829-6672. I deliberately said I'll give you some extra time tonight because I perhaps would have robbed you of your discussion. And I want you to implore you, as I normally do, before I go to the lines, and I'll do so in a few seconds. Respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourself. Let us try to be fair to our concern, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendship. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. At 9:01, let's go to the lines. Take our first caller. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Liburd, man. How you doing, man?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good.
You're batting pretty early tonight.
Yes. Actually, as you said, batting early. I just want to let you know, indeed, I wanted to try to get in early tonight and open up the batting, like you say, because me being a cricketer, if I didn't migrate out of the federation, I know to myself confidently that I would have made that West Indies team.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they don't really know me like that. But
okay.
Man like Stuart Williams, I want to big him up tonight. That's a really close friend of mine. He made the West Indies team after I migrated out of Nevis.
Okay.
But I know to myself, if I had stayed there and didn't migrated, Nevis would have definitely had 2 picks that year on the West Indies team when Stuart Williams made the team. So kudos to my friend Stuart Williams. Big up yourself, Stuart, man. I love you, bro. And I want to say congratulations to you for making the West Indies team after I migrated out to Nevis. We started playing cricket at 12 years old, and we had a mutual respect for each other, even though we were so competitive in the games that we played against each other. But I just want to acknowledge him and let him know that I love him, and I hope that he's striving wherever he's at tonight.
So what sorry to interrupt you. What would have been a batsman, a bowler, or just a 12th man?
As a matter of fact, a batsman just like my idol, a batsman just like my idol and my big uncle Livingston Sargent.
Okay, got you.
I would have created some havoc, man, in the West Indies, man, just like Stuart Williams did.
Okay.
But Stuart, big up yourself, man. I hope next time that I come home, I'll be able to see you, man. You know what I'm saying? But good luck in what you're doing right now, and keep up the good works, man. I was really happy for you when I first heard that he made the West Indies team. Okay. The last game that I know Stuart Williams played, well, actually, let me pull that back a little bit. I don't know if that was the last game, but the last game that I heard, I listened to the match, was when he was down in Guyana, and he made a double century, and the Guyana team, they cried for the light end, and the game was called off because of the poor light end. I think it was probably raining or something. And that incident and that match, I listened to the game. I actually had visited the Federation, and I got on the launch from St. Kitts coming up to Nevis that afternoon, and it was a guy from Cottonville named Alton Pemberton. God bless his soul, because he passed away now. They used to call him Splish. He was listening to the game coming up on the boat, and he gave me a chance to listen in. And when I listened in, Stuart Williams had 200 and something runs. And still, this man didn't get back on the West Indies team. But I know Stuart Williams should have had a longer career, just like Greenwich and Gordon in the West Indies team, because I know he was great. He was great, man. He was naturally talented. But, me competing with him, I had to come home and keep practicing to keep up. And I was doing really good, because I know the Livingston Sargent story, when Livingston, being the great batsman that he was, and didn't get the West Indies pick for whatever reason, you know, I would have been the man to correct that and push forward to show that Nevis got that great talent, man, in cricket.
Okay.
So I know if I didn't migrate it, I would have made the West Indies team. But anyway, man, let's get back to the politics. Strut, big up yourself, man. I love you, man, again. Big Les Watley, man. I just want to thank him for speaking up. And I want to implore them right now, man, because people in the Federation, they're scared to speak up, man. And once the man put this whistleblower in place, law in place, the people them should realize that, you know, they have the go ahead to speak up more now. And one thing I don't like with this big life, well, actually, I want to actually, as a friend of mine indicated, that Big Life's name should actually be changed to Big Life, because the impact that he's making on the Federation right now is bigger than life right now. You know, as a big man, he doesn't really want to call him Big Life. You know what I'm saying? It sounds kind of derogatory, and he want to maybe, you know, we want to start calling Big Life Big Life. So anyway, man, let me just try to express myself a little bit. What I don't like is that the man blow his whistle and he get fired. So therefore, his boss, right, should have recognized two things. One, that Big Life is blowing his whistle. And two, he needs to get that protection under the law. So right now, this person who has sent Big Life a letter from his lawyer, this man needs to probably retaliate on them. Big Life, you have a chance to sue the government, bro, because really and truly, them man violating your rights, and they're violating the law that they have put in place. Big Life, you need to recognize that whoever your boss was that called you into that meeting and terminated your services, number one, that person, he should have recognized that you're blowing your whistle. That's number one. And number two, instead of him firing you like he did and created this drama, he should have offered you the protection under the law. So therefore, Big Life, you have a chance to take these people to court. You know, people are scared to do these type of things in the Federation. Man, sue these people for whatever they worth, man. You have to stand up for the people, your own foot soldiers and the wider people, the electorates that have voted in this government, bro. The people of Thesis and Nevis, you all got to gain this courage and start standing up to these politicians who think that they're just elitists when you vote them in. We the people is the ones that got the power in our hands. If these politicians go in here and they turn their backs on the electorates and their own foot soldiers, we need to hold these people feet to the fire, man. If the man get voted in and they mess up, well, we just have the theory of one of the other callers I've been listening to very closely, who says, vote them out. Keep voting them out until we get the rights of the people in there. That will create a natural term limitation. The term limits, they don't want to pass that legislation in Parliament either. But we could be voting them out every time when they mess up. And then we, the electorates, will have the power in our hand. We will be showing these politicians, when we vote them in, they better do what we ask them to do, or we will send them home like how they send Big Lights home just now. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But all the other people, man, who's like Big Lights, do not be scared to talk up, man. And one other thing before you go, concerning that Brian clause, just like how the Big Lights said that they treat him a certain way, you know what I mean? We, the electorates over here, that's out in the diaspora, right? If they're going to call on us, you hear when Big Lights said that they use the foot soldiers to get them in? So I'm putting out a clarion call to the electorates in the diaspora. Do not let us get into a situation like this, like Big Lights. They're bringing us home and have us voting for them, right? But yet still we cannot vote around, we cannot run for a parliamentary position for those of us who have this foreign passport. You know what I mean? So if I have the right to come home to vote and I have a foreign passport, with that said foreign passport, I should have the right to come home and run for an elected office.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My personal birthright is being violated, man.
Okay.
Our birthrights are being violated. So the people in the diaspora, I want to implore you all, man. If the parliamentarians don't go into parliament and address this ban clause, well, let us boycott the next election. And that's my clarion call tonight to the electorates over here in the diaspora. We will boycott the next election in St. Kitts and Nevis if we don't get them to address this ban clause. Okay. And that's my contribution for the night, man. But Big Lights, big up yourself, man. Keep doing the good works. I know, like I hear, man, you have a good, beautiful family, man, behind you. But don't be bullied, man. Stand up.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Liburd, man. Thank you very much, man. You have a good night, bro.
Have a good night as well, my Street Dog family. I know we digressed into the cricket, the sports, so we had a extended moment, and I want to thank this caller, polling caller. You are live.
Mr. Patrick.
How are you, my dear brother? That's the Bible man.
I'm fine.
What's
now,
up?
Mr. Patrick.
Yes, my lord.
Now, I am reading Psalm 41. Here it said, "Blessed is he that considereth the poor.
Mm-hmm. He shall.
The Lord will deliver him
Time.
in the time of trouble.
He will.
The Lord will preserve him and keep him alive, and he shall be blessed upon the earth. And the will of the enemy, the will of his enemy." I think tonight I am saying something here. I am not going to stay too long. The word of God says, Jesus said, "The poor he have with me always." That is, the word of God said, when you consider the poor, there he gonna protect you. But that is if you don't press the poor. That is if you take away from the poor. That is if you really oppress, don't press. And it seems like that people agree doing that. But let me tell you something, Dana. Something revealed to me tonight. Because a lot of people forget there's going to be a judgment there.
Yep.
And a lot of people forget that they are going to die. So, when you die, and judgment day morning, what you can tell the Lord? That is, the last thing I can say, we are our brother's keeper. And when you're going to repart the poor people, and believe to yourself, is all well. As Galatians shall test it. And the verse 9. It shall be not deceived. God is not mocked.
Okay.
Whatever man soweth today, he shall also reap.
Yep.
Potato, palm, plant, potato, void, and expect to reap yam.
Okay. Gotcha, my brother.
So when you do your fellow money, he gonna come back to haunt you.
Okay.
So me don't worry.
Okay.
You see me? This man, this Bible man don't worry.
Okay.
Because they come. So me live. There was a lot of things we could have gone and get on with, but me hush me out. Because God is going to take care of me. Mr. Patrick, I wish you all the best.
Okay.
And so, and everything will work out well for you for 2024. And I can say this, you know, you have to say. A lot of people believe to say there was some God.
Okay.
But only one God in this world. And when he comes, well, he has to come because the rapture take place very soon. So see you, Mr. Baptist.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. We go straight back to the lines. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
How are you, Carl? Good night.
Oh, I'm not doing too bad for my age. Mr. Liburd, good night to the listeners home and abroad. Carl Brown here. Mr. Liburd, on the big lies matter. Yes, I listened last night attentively. And in the day on another talk show, I uttered a number of substance and things concerning the matter, and I hear him say last night that he heard me and he gave me a break. Well, big lies, just like you, I am asking questions and made suggestions in the issues concerning you, the minister, and the things that the questions that you asked last week, Thursday night. I will say, the Prime Minister just didn't fire Big Light on his own. He was pressured by the hierarchy of labor. So he had to carry out the wishes and the bidding of the hierarchy of labor. As one minister in labor said to one minister a few years ago, you ain't rule yourself, labor rule you. So the Prime Minister ain't rule himself, the hierarchy of labor rule him. Right? Mr. Liburd, another issue that we have to look into is concerning the Accountant General and pensioners, you know. So, Liburd, they are backward and way back. They want to tell pensioners that you must come twice a year, full out a form to come in to show that you are alive. You must full out a form January, and June you must come back to full out a form for you to get paid the second half of the same year. So every 6 months you have to show up at the treasury with a form showing that you're alive, which is rubbish, nonsense, and backwardness and ignorance, Mr. Liburd, because we claim of databases and we claim of internet and electronic media and all that sort of thing. And Mr. Liburd, when they pay the CVI money, they paid it through Social Security because the government then and now stated that Social Security have everybody data. And we all know that all pensioners and civil servants are insured on the national insurance. Lots of people are also insured privately under other insurance. But here, Mr. Liburd, if you want to know if pensioners are alive, all you have to do is call down or send down something to Social Security and National Insurance. And you know all who pensioners who are alive and who dead. And Mr. Liburd, they're backward and you show that the government departments them are not working together. Because here is it. We hear a lot of death announcements annually, right? But all the accountant general have to do, and all Social Security have to do, and National Insurance. Every 3 months, they send up a data listing of all the persons, all the pensioners who have passed. That simple that, Mr. Liburd, and you will know all the pensioners who are alive. I should not be showing up to the accountant general with a form to say, here I am alive from January to June, and then show up again from June with another form again to December to show I'm alive, and keep repeating that rubbish and nonsense over and over. With all the database and things that we have here in the government systems. Come on, man, we got to get better than that, Mr. Liburd, and stop wasting government paper and government forms.
So are you suggesting that you should not provide, I think they call it a life certificate or something like that, right?
No, I should not be providing that, Mr. Liburd, because they are paying me. Mm-hmm. They are paying me every month, and they are paying the pensioners every month. Because December they paid me, Mr. Liburd. A week and a half later, the postman walked in me yard, gave me a letter from the government. I opened it, 2 forms in it, stating with a letter and a pay sheet showing that how pensioners are going to get paid for the whole of this year, from January to December. Now, if you send me that ain't mean I am alive.
Yeah, but there should be some check, but maybe not as often as you say. But if it's every 6 months, they give you 6 months to live. But at least you can be a once per year. But there must be some sort of proof of existence.
Mr. Liburd, any proof of existence, all you have to do is check National Insurance and Social Security. Because everybody died in St. Kitts Nevis have to go to Social Security.
Okay.
There's your database. National Insurance is also a database for the Accountant General and Social Security. I should not be showing up to the Accountant General with no form to say, here I am alive.
Okay.
That's how you check.
Okay, well.
Because then you did not hear my death announcement. You did not attend my funeral. So I'm alive and you pay me. So who you paying all the time? A dead person? You're paying me and then writing me a week later and they're telling me I must come in to show that I'm alive and you just pay me? So who you been paying all these months?
Okay, my brother. I got you.
Rubbish and nonsense. And they got to come better than that.
Something I need to chew on.
Yes, I got.
Thanks a lot for your involvement, your intervention. We go back to the lines. I call your live. I thank you for holding. It's 9:24. Are you there?
Mr. Strater, good evening.
How are you, Mr. Strater? How art thou?
What can I say, man? So far, so good. It's well. It's good to hear you tonight. It's a Thursday night, and this is one of the Thursday nights that I'm listening you live and lively, because we're not having no service tonight. But I just want to thank you for everything that you are doing. So let me just say my good night to Mr. Culture here in Lodge, and my sweet sister, St. Louis. It's good. It's good. And so, Queen, we dear.
Yes.
We dear. Understand? Straight talk is coming good. So, straight up, I was doing something on Monday, and I didn't understand what was going on with Big Light. But it's last night in the news, you know that I said open up the news with this thing? Yes. I said, wait, you mean this thing more bigger than any other news item that they have to bring on, that they open up with it? And this thing was so long. I said, but wait, this is a letter that this man sent? Who would do this thing? And I was just amazed how long he's just going on reading this thing. He like to just say, look, set up that thing, man, and blow it up. But whatever is going on with that government and the people have to come together and do what they got to do. Understand? Look what foolishness they're doing that every year you have to, what nonsense is that you have to, You're paying somebody all the time and all of a sudden you have to bring in a paper. My brother was telling me about it, that they stop his money and when he go, he gets a paper and I said, but guy, you making joke? He said, no, it's true. No, my friend there is saying that's what they do to him. What these people is doing? Anyway, Mr. Strater, so wait, how the houses are coming?
Very interesting.
The houses and the water bucket. What's going on? I haven't heard you with no updates for tonight. I guess big lights take over everything. But I can talk about the water bucket and the house, the model house that they're building. So what happened? You ain't come out that woman yet?
A lady told me that the fire truck came to deliver some water. When they put it in the bucket just swagged and fell down. All the water came out. Yeah, but
she didn't have to take a picture.
The houses. I'll provide an update, but I was looking at the passage of the houses, and if you're living with your girl, you have to go to the passage one in single file, as we say. Both can pass to the passage.
I don't know, Mr. Strater, I don't know, but it's good to hear that you're laughing and it shows that you're doing well because you're laughing tonight and that's a blessing.
Yes,
understand?
Yes,
so just continue to do what you got to do. All right, my brother?
Yes, my
Be
brother.
good. Take care of yourself.
Yes.
See you when I see you.
when I
Be
see
good.
you, my brother. Take care, my straight talk brother. Let us go right back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Are you there, caller? Hello? Okay, that caller's probably fell asleep. During the opening ceremony, beg your pardon, of the High Court last session in Grenada this week, at which our Attorney General spoke, it stunned many viewers that he had the gall to stand in front of such an august body to deliver an address on the rule of law and order in St. Kitts, Nevis, when he was condemned by a judge for breaching the social security laws in the Federation. No matter whatsoever what some may say or do, as a barrister myself, practicing in this country, I can state categorically the judgment came as a severe blow to the Attorney General's pride. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Yeah.
Hello, caller.
Good evening, Patrice.
How are you, my brother? Good evening.
Okay, I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad to hear you too. You sound lively and happy tonight here.
Yes, I am, man. God has been good to me.
You talk what you get for Christmas was so big that you ain't done eat it, have you?
I'm off the flesh, man. Yeah.
Lord,
Yes.
the old people them say, Nongy done is sweet. Good evening to all listeners to this show. Brother Straight Talk, glad to hear your voice as usual. Brother Nabo, and my brother Floyd Wine, and Mr. Welcome. Locally, everybody gonna lock on to the show here tonight. Because I am going to say this here. This is PLP supporter, unity supporter, radical culture. When some people leave Team Unity and they went with Douglas and drew them labor. A lot of those people, they never used to abuse them. But now that Big Lies speak out. They give him a whistle, and he whistle blowing clean and hard. And now he speak out. And all of us who have a clear conscience and a clean heart, and we saying that's good, Big Lies. Because too many wrong things going on in that administration since they said they win election, which is an offside goal. And they never know that somebody like Big Lies can blow the whistle and speak out. But anyway, Carl, the box always stop at the head table. The box stops with the Prime Minister. So he ain't no big official turn with Big Lies. Because he don't like what Big Lies say. They want Big Lies to come in and talk in the air secretly while they're doing what they're doing to the man. It's long time somebody's supposed to speak up on them. And we have many more great lies. Big Lash gonna speak out. I tell her, that they ain't gonna last 2 years in there, Because what started wrong, if you don't stop in the middle and fix it, it cannot end right. It's gonna end wrong. And remember, you say an election can be bought. And that is what happened. And I ain't surprised, because I'm looking for it a long time, and more people now who jump over the fence, they're going to jump back over. Because they're going to get fired. And some of them, you know why some of them going to get fired? Because they do not want to declare their assets. Some of them hiding their assets. Monday night, I say, some of them got 18 houses and all other kind of properties. And they're going to put them behind in people's name. And I heard so through the grapevine, so said the done.
Okay.
But anyway, we're going to see more. And I am supporting Big Lies, and anybody who come out and speak out, you tend to say that they're supporting a political party because of politics. Is what they've been doing to people. It is wrong. Wrong. And Big Lies, you continue, brother. More people can speak out. Just like how you see me and others speaking out. We ain't afraid. You ain't afraid. And nobody's supposed to afraid. Man shut door, and God open four more.
Okay.
So you don't worry, brother. That is now, when you bring a topic, I would like everybody at least to touch the topic. Because that is the reason why you have the show. To highlight what is going on in the Federation, whether it's wrong or right. When it is right, you give them the kudos. When it is wrong, you talk about it, and then we, the judges, we will tell them, no, this is wrong, and you mustn't do it. Stop it.
Okay.
Let me give somebody else a chance, Patrick, to come in. Thank you so long.
Thanks for your involvement, for your understanding. We go straight back to the lines caller. I thank you for holding your line.
Good night, listeners. Good night, Patches.
Yes, good night, my dear brother.
All right. Big Lies. With you have this thing.
Are you in your foxhole tonight? I'm not.
No, I'm not.
You're not. Okay, the quality wasn't.
Sorry about that. Okay. Now, if you will listen to Big Lies' statement, Big Lies did not make any accusation towards the minister, Congress. Big Lies stated it is alleged. And if anyone knows what alleged means, it might be a possibility, but not certain. So if Congress or anyone were to listen keenly, allege Congress and his attorneys should have not make that complaint to Big Lies to cease and desist. And remember, Big Lies is an activist and he entitled to speak. And he spoke under the whistleblowing. I don't know if he made any complaint to anyone, any jurisdiction of law-abiding agencies that should take a whistleblower complaint or accusation. But he spoke out publicly. But it is alleged that so and so. Now, for Big Lies to get a dismissal or a termination, which I will consider a wrongful termination, yes, the other ministers put the Prime Minister into a spot. But the Prime Minister should have do a due diligence for what is right. If it's alleged, there is no accusation. He should not have dismissed or terminate Big Lies. It should have been opened up for investigation because they are trying to stamp out the corruption.
But Carla, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to be devil's advocate here, though, right?
Yes.
If it's alleged that it is a claim, but there's no proof. Yeah, there's an accusation, but there's no proof. So one has to be careful with that, nonetheless. Don't you think?
Well, it depends on how you will make your statement.
Okay. All right.
Okay? And remember, one is talking and one is listening. One is digesting. And how they move forward in making prosecution. Nobody was listening. Big Lies know what he was saying. Because if he said, yes, Mr. Connery, you did this and you did that, that's an accusation. Then Connery could have to prove himself, you are defamating my character. Okay? But that's not the case. So, for what happened to Big Lies, I think he should be reinstated back to his position. And I think he should be compensated for damages because it was a bad call by the Prime Minister. If he was under pressure because 5 against 1 and put him under that, he should have stand up. And if the chips fall where they may, because we're trying to weed out all the bad weeds. And he didn't weed out the bad weeds. He should have leave it and open for investigation because it is alleged. I didn't went to law school, but I studied some books. And I think Big Lies, you could prosecute your case and there will be no charge. But no one will stop you from speaking out and being the man who you are. And continue because you have everybody on your side for what it is right now. Thank you for the time.
Thanks for your intervention. Thanks for your contribution. Thanks for your involvement. Very interesting perspective. Allegations. Is it accusatory? Is there proof? But many people are wondering what is going on in St. Kitts Nevis. Read this email. When they hear the plea of a former judge and chairwoman of the Integrity Commission, Pauletta Lance, begging those criminals, vagabonds, camps, and shady dishonorable men and women in cabinet to come and declare your assets. Hear her patches. Lord, we do not take any pleasure in sending your names to the DPP to be persecuted. That should be prosecuted. We have already passed the deadline for submission and is giving you some more time. So please come because you have heard what the DPP said. He is ready to prosecute you. Well. If this is what the justice system in the Federation has come to, heaven help us all. Justice Lands ought to be aware of the aphorism that justice is blind, meaning it does not matter who breaks the law, whether or not you are the Attorney General, Prime Minister, opposition leader, or any parliamentarian. They must pay for the crimes they have committed. It is not right, Justice Lance, in the sight of God, for you to severely punish a poor man from Irishtown or Low Street in Charlestown for committing a mild offense. And as Mark Brantley said, those white-collar criminals dressed in jackets and ties like him go scot-free. Our confidence in the administration of justice is very, very poor. Madam Justice Lance reads this email. This other email reads, at 20 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour, let us be all even for once. Be honest, practical, and true. There are several elements of truth in what Big Lice had to say about Congress, and the evidence is clear as crystal to all of us. It does not matter two hooks what defense Congress prefers. It will not erase the fact that the mansion he built in this salubrious area at Dewars in his youthful political life will always remain questionable as to how he procured the money to construct it. He's labeling that his character has been defamed, but he's only fooling himself, reads this email. And this other email reads, the Labour government is clueless. What I have noticed during my existence here living on St. Kitts is during the time Douglas was in power and gunshots were ringing left and right with so many young men killed weekly, the then Labour Douglas government, refused to do anything to seize the guns or the gunfires and murders of the young men here in the Federation. When Tim and Team Unity went in, he tried something. No, it was not done at its best because he had to do something immediately. The crime cut down drastically and many young men's lives were saved as a result of smart Tim thinking. Now Dr. Drew, or the Jew Labour Party, is in power, and history is repeating itself because Labour is a cursed government of deaths and guns. The now Jew Labour Party still is refusing to do anything about the crimes in the Federation. Yes, Labour refused to do anything to save the young men in the Federation. I never know we have so many young men alive to now be dead under the Jew Labour administration or Labour government. We have to pray and cover our young men daily and during the night because the Labour government don't care about our sons, fathers, uncles, cousins, nor nephews. It's 9:43. Caller, you live. I thank you for holding. Hello.
Yes, good evening again, Mr. Liburd. Carl here again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Liburd, a couple of things. Last year, the European Union, I think the Americas, send out a decree or a demand, right, to the Caribbean that they must adopt and sign on to same-sex marriages. A number of Caribbean islands, including like Grenada, Jamaica, St. Lucia, and others, claim that nobody is going to work. They are a legitimate government. For all these months, our Prime Minister and all the ministers them have been traveling up and down the world, and they talk on all subjects, but none of them has uttered a word concerning this demand, this request, 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 this demand, this requ attention that they are asked to draw on themselves to and to sign on to up until now. And that was done where we say the second half of last year. And we are in the first half of this year, and not a word concerning that from the Prime Minister, from the Minister of Gender Affairs, and those sort of things. No, not even from the Foreign Minister, because he comes from a foreign entity, the Foreign Affairs Minister. We have not heard a word from them. But I would like to alert the nation that the Prime Minister would be on ZIZ Radio tomorrow at 11 o'clock on the program called The Edge. So people tune in, because I am going to ask the Prime Minister that question tomorrow, and among some other private questions that the country should be aware of, and the Prime Minister needs to clear the air on those questions. So I will be asking the Prime Minister those things, that question tomorrow. So are you pleased to tell the Prime Minister come prepared, because Carl Brown is going to ask him his take and what his take on the country about same-sex marriages, which they was asked to draw the attention to. The other thing is concerning Big Lice again. Yes, Big Lice have a strong case. He can take the matter to court, right? Because it was an abrupt dismissal. Yes, he's an appointed advisor. We don't know if the law have any protection there for appointees and political appointees, right? And contract people. And I guess he was on a contract. And I guess maybe in that meeting with the Prime Minister might have had agreed to pay out his contract to whatever time they had agreed when they signed that contract last year, right? So we will wait to hear from that. And the other thing concerning Big Lice, I listened to Big Lice last night read out the letter, and he said it came from some books. But listening to that letter as a commentary and a street lawyer, that lawyer that sent that letter, I think he or she need to go back and listen the live from Big Lice. And I think he or she should withdraw that letter, because that letter full of rubbish and nonsense. Total rubbish and nonsense. That doesn't sound like a trained lawyer come from a reputable law school somewhere around the world. And think he made that law school embarrass that lawyer, embarrass that law school, and embarrass the Bar Association here. And I think the Bar Association should call that lawyer into a meeting, and they should listen Big Lice live and read her letter, he or she letter that was sent to Big Lice, and counsel and direct that lawyer concerning those matters.
Okay.
The lawyers them around here letting people use them like light switch and remote and like puppet on a string. And not because people come in with their money, tell them plain and straight that this don't have no merit, this case or waiver is a EA make no sense. Don't just take people money and put them through the road, people. All your conscience gonna be all your guys later in all your ears are gone.
Okay, thanks for your intervention. It's now 11 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. The dispense of these emails. Good night, Mr. Liburd. Just like Dr. Drew, who liked to travel with a big contingent, Mr. Crosman is in Guyana with his contingent also, so you won't get him. Thanks for that. Okay. On to the Big Lice saga. The man from number 3 is like a little child. I don't know how people are so stupid to put these little thin-skinned babies in high office, reads this email. And this other email reads, "Good night, Patches. Dr. Jew and Rondalyn Bradshaw, who is the new acting PS, are running the health system to the ground. Can you imagine Dr. Bradshaw, the PNO, want us, the nurses, to work 12-hour shifts to tide us out? There are some newly appointed nurses who studied in Cuba, walking up and down the hospital and health centers in white, who did not write or pass their exams and are not qualified to take care of the patients. The hospital is in a mess and healthcare is gone to the dogs. Medication not there, bedding dirty for hours, patients left unattended for hours. Dr. Bradshaw frustrating us, the nurses. She's moving us all over the country with no real explanation. We are very unsettled and we did not vote for Dr. Bradshaw to turn and twist us because she and her husband support every government in power," reads this email. And this other email reads, "Last week, Dwyer was on a radio program when Mrs. Henry, in her contribution, said to Dwyer that as he was a member of the Labour Party, he should be able to do certain things to help them advance the party. Dwyer exclaimed, 'I am a member of the Labour.' 'Yes, you are.' This word assert, Mrs. Henry, what's that word? I then ponder why Dwyer patiently won't deny publicly that he is not a member of the Labour. When Douglas shouted and proclaimed to the world at the Labour conventions, of Labour contentious convention, at Jacta Hotel, that Dwyer Astaphan and Sam Condon were back with Labour, to the applause of many. Dwyer was present and sat still. He did not object to what Douglas said, so why is he so lion bold-faced to challenge Mrs. Henry about his Labour membership, when we all know what Mrs. Henry said is true? Mr. Dwyer, you don't know what you want. You are confused and trying desperately to confuse us." Yes, and those are the emailers. It's now 8 before 10 o'clock as we wind down tonight's programming. Some may have joined us belatedly, or some may have joined us late, I should say. And tonight, our caption, a foot soldier, whistleblower, and bloody noses. Let's take this call before I give my rap. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Okay, Patrick, yeah, I'm here. Patrick, I'm glad for the email there, where they talk about Dwyer. I remember the night when Dr. Douglas said, Dwyer is here, and he ain't get up and say nothing. So now he coming now, want to tell Miss Henry what he be and what he ain't it be. That is why I want to know if there is a law for those who spend taxpayers' money and they're saying that they don't remember. Apparently, they want me to say, why did I sign? I'm speaking about La Valley Golf Course. When they walking playing earthly Jesus, and they got a load of faults behind them, and accusing farmer administration, and they got their oil full of yampy. So I want to know if there is a law to deal with such people who spend and waste government money. Now, I understand when Big Lies was speaking that the ticket to Dubai is almost 50,000. And you're going to tell me every time this government they're traveling with this big entourage? Well, who paying them kind of ticket, them kind of money for tickets? We need opposition in this country here. Opposition is what will shove them down. We already have a start. Big Lies catapult the opposition movement, and we should follow him because this is the right time to attack them. What you call it, demonstratively, not violently. March the street and show them that we are tolerating what the nonsense, what they're doing to the country. I tell people already, Those people in that man and the cabal, them, they're acting like Talibans. And look at the behavior of them. Nobody could open their mouth and say nothing. Otherwise, they're going to turn away. And that is the bill that they pass in the house, integrity in public life. And no people speaking. They don't want them to speak. That Babel Tower house up so, down by June, let us speak out. Let us declare that and say where they get the money from to build that. All of that they're hiding. But let me tell you something, Patches, just look how the flow. The road march flow is contagious. What happening in other countries, it is contagious. And you go reach right and sink it. So are you going to talk about that tomorrow upon our program? And I want to know if they got toothache named Harris. Because come look somebody, Harris name, Dr. Harris name, hurting somebody tooth every day. So are you going to talk? Because we know how you listen. And we're going to speak. Because we have a way to speak and our country underwater. And we need to pull it up. Throw in the water and let the country run good. We ain't tolerating no stupidness no more. What going on? A lot of you shutting out your mouth. And I see wrong things going on here with taxpayers' money. When a small man take up a taffy, he wrong. But they go and jail him. But look these here with a load of big assets and all this kind of money. What they got? Tell the nation how they get it. Patches, you have a good night, brother. Thank you. Watch your back.
Have a good night as well, my dear brother.
Ever is big and powerful and strong again. All of our people are back on board. Tell them, I say, Dwyer back on board. Sam Conda back on board. All of them back on board. All of them back on board.
I would never vote for a candidate who is on the same ticket with Dr. Douglas. That's me personally.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, sometimes we have to bring back the memories some people conveniently forget. And as we wrap tonight's program, my Straight Talk family, we looked at our thesis tonight, foot soldier, whistleblower, and bloody noses. Let's take this email that just came to hand. Patches, I do not agree there must be checks and balances in all government programs. However, in this modern day computer age, if it takes going to Parliament and passing a law, government can implement a process where the person or medical facilities responsible for issuing a death certificate shall inform the financial departments responsible for paying retirees annuities, and Carl Brown is correct. Well, that's what Straight Talk is all about. We thank you for that particular position. And as I was about to wrap my Straight Talk family, we looked, as I said, at our thesis for tonight. Perhaps we take this other call and guide this caller by the rules of brevity. Caller, are you there? Hello, caller?
Yes, I am. Let me just mute. Okay, Patches, apart from the big rice issue, I am very troubled, and I'm speaking about the immigration system in St. Kitts. I think all the immigrants in St. Kitts who are above or is on 3 years, I think they should change that law that says take 15 years for them to become a citizen or resident. I mean, people goes from place to place, from country to country, from town to town. And some of them recognize life is better in that country where they are for them. And they got to work, they got to live. They are humans. I am calling out Parliament to change that law from 15 years to at least maximum of 3 years. And they remain law-abiding citizens for such a change to take place. I mean, people, apart from the citizens itself, are suffering. These foreigners are suffering too. And suffer is suffer. It doesn't matter where you comes from. Everyone need to live. Everyone need to help themselves and contribute. If this administration don't do it, when I come into to office, I will push for that. So to all immigrants, I stand beside all of you.
Okay.
I will make a difference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's caller. I want to give you 30 seconds. Can you use it?
Yes, Mr. Liburd. Carl Brown here again. 30 seconds. Mr. Liburd, just popped in on my phone about 15 minutes ago that our former inspector, Joseph Liburd, has passed away in New York. Just popped in on my phone. Yes. So I am alerting people, and y'all could check it out. It just popped in my phone that former Inspector Joseph Liburd has passed away in New York.
Okay.
Right? So y'all check it out and see if that is true. Right? Mr. Liburd, and popped into my phone today is that Dr. Drew visited the house that is being built in Connery. And Dr. Drew is saying how he's so pleased and how the workers, them is so diligent. But Dr. Drew is not telling people so many months now they're trying to get this house built and cannot complete it yet. And this house, what they're doing is nothing new that we have not done here in St. Kitts. Our contractors and our masons and laborers and plumbers and electrician and whatever has not done here in St. Kitts. They're not doing anything new or efficient that we have not done already here in St. Kitts. And he's saying NHC housing, right? They are not NHC housing. They are the company from Trinidad housing, because they told us, Mr. Liburd, that the company is putting in this amount of millions of dollars and nothing is coming from the St. Kitts government. You remember that, Mr. Liburd?
Yep. Okay.
So how could there be NHC housing? There cannot be NHC housing. NHC may oversee the building of these housing. But they are not NHC housing. They are the company from Trinidad, because they claim the company is putting in this large amount of millions of dollars, and it won't cost the taxpayers no money. Okay. I remember those words,
Okay,
I'm gone, Mr. Liburd. Got time done.
Thank you very much. That's the way we're gonna end it tonight. My Straight Talk my Straight Talk family, in terms of our callers' involvement in the program tonight, because my time is done and I am going to run. But tonight we looked at the caption for our thesis, the title for thesis, Foot Soldier, Whistleblower, and Bloody Noses, my Straight Talk family. And the definition of foot soldier was provided to us by the political activists out of the Green Valley, Duncan Big Lice Watley. And he reminded us of this, my Straight Talk family.
I made a special request for the foot soldiers. That's what we want to talk about tonight. The foot soldiers and how the foot soldiers are cheated. Because if you look at your computer or your phone and you ask what foot soldiers be, one in phone tell me the persons who do all the hard work trying to get a political party or a candidate into parliament and subsequently into government. They use you to get in office. They call you every day on the phone. Come, let's go. We're going canvassing. Come, let's go. We're going to knock up board. Come, let's go. We're going on the radio. Come, let's go. We're going on the internet. When government change, better about this government, Jesus. Because Labour better about Labour government. Some of them refuse to canvass, refuse to do this. But the foot soldiers were there marching left, right. Every night, making sure the cause was good, making sure this was done. The foot soldiers were there, while some people were in the background, hiding.
Yes, my Straight Talk family. And we also reminding you of this lengthy news item, or we also referred to this lengthy news item which gave us this information as well. Straight Talk family.
Government Minister Honorable Congress Maynard issued a statement on Wednesday, January 17, 2024, refuting claims made against him by political commentator Duncan Big Lice Watley. Maynard stated that, quote, all the allegations made against me by Mr. Watley, no matter how loudly he shouts them, are blatant lies, end quote. Maynard then went on to say that, quote, as a minister of government and in particular as minister with responsibility for Skilek, I have never used my position to engage in any illegal, corrupt or fraudulent practices for personal enrichment of any kind, end quote. In his statement, Maynard sought an apology and a retraction of the allegations within 48 hours. He also stated that he plans to pursue this case against Watley to the fullest extent of the law.
And my Straight Dog family, the practice of fearless speech occupies a distinctive yet neglected role within the history of political thought, is what I advance tonight. I also advanced the view that Big Lice, like all of us, we do have a right and to ask, according to how it's been put by this political activist, ask the hard questions. My Straight Dog family, we have that right. I do submit.
And you want apology, and you want this, and you want that, and you want compensation to do your job, I'm doing my job. I am doing my job. My job is to ask questions when there is doubt. So I still have to ask about the company. I still have to find out about the company and tell you all what my findings are. So don't let nobody put you all the wool over my eyes. And all I want are to know that this man, yes, Big Lice, going to represent himself in court. Because I want to see the court going to tell me, as a citizen of St. Kitts Nevis, that I can't question my representative in Parliament. He's all of us representative, and I go ask the question. And I want to see who will tell me I can ask questions about the different entities around. Because if that is the case, as I've said before, we're wasting our time. With all the legislation that we would have passed, we're wasting our time if we can't ask hard questions.
It's all about whistleblowing. And also about the foot soldiers who have been discarded. I think of the Liburd general with the big clock, always in his red. I haven't seen him for some time, Bugna. But whistleblowing is an essential tool for ensuring transparency and accountability in politics. It helps to expose corruption and other forms of wrongdoing that would otherwise go unnoticed. According to my brother from Nevis, living in the USA, who's adamant that we should repeal that brand clause, he made this very important point about our legislation as well, my Straight Talk family.
You know, I don't really agree to what all the big lights guy said, but I still want to pick him up. I don't really know who he is, but I still gonna pick him up for coming out and talking against the injustices that he has saw, right? Remember now, you know, they just passed the whistleblower law. If that man pass a whistleblower law and big lights blow his whistle and this man get fired, these are the things that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis got to be looking at. I don't know what these guys on the ground down there is looking at. They've just passed another law, the whistleblower law. They passed the whistleblower law and then now big lights getting fired for blowing his whistle. That man got to be crazy, man. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis, they got to step up, bro. They got to step up, man. You know, this man is victimized right now. This is the biggest degree of victimization. This man blew his whistle and then he got home.
And yes, my Straight family, whistleblowing can be a risky business, as you would have gleaned from all that's happened. Whistleblowers are often subjected to retaliation, harassment, and even legal action, which is what the soccer engineer has threatened. But all these revelations from the foot soldier gave Dr. Drew and the soccer engineer Conris bloody noses. So Dr. Drew tries to suppress free speech. And Watley reported that Drew sent him on his merry way after a meeting on Monday.
It is not a usual live for me, but I guess you guys would have heard what transpired after last week, Thursday night. I guess you all would have heard. But if you did not hear, let me inform you. On Monday, I attended a meeting with the Honorable Prime Minister, my boss. And we had a meeting in the morning, good meeting, we spoke and came to a decision that he would have to relieve me of my duties as the advisor in the office of the Prime Minister because of conflict and pressure, of course. Some people thought that as an advisor I was out of place to question a sitting minister. And so it was agreed, I haven't seen anything yet official, but it was agreed that the best thing to do is to send me on my merry way and let the country, the government continue to function without me. I had no problem with that.
I see you're calling, but I will only. I can only afford you 10 seconds. Can you use it?
Hello?
Yes, I can give you 10 seconds since you've been calling.
Okay. I want to clear the air with a mistake.
Mm-hmm. What's the mistake?
I make a mistake, so I want to clear it.
Yeah, do it fast, can you? Do it quickly. Go ahead.
Now, when I said Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9 was Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7.
Okay, got you then. Thank you very much.
That is what I want to say.
Okay, thank you for doing
I did see it.
Okay.
So you take it later.
Thank you. Have yourself a good night, my dear brother. So that phone ringing. But that's why it's important to get back to our conclusion, to have laws in place that protect whistleblowers from retaliation and to provide them with the support they need to come forward. And even our new DPP advanced that position.
I haven't seen an anti-corruption regime as robust insofar as what it covers and so on as St. Kitts and Nevis. I have not. Maybe Barbados probably comes close because I know at one point I saw whistleblower legislation with respect to this, and I say, that's really good, because I don't see how one can pass anti-corruption legislation without that important component to go alongside it. Without whistleblowers, we'll never find out about corruption.
Without whistleblowers, we'll never find out about corruption. That's the opinion of our new DPP, Adley Smith. So, my Straight Dog family, there are procedures, protected disclosures in accordance with the legislation that was just referred to, the Whistleblowers Protection Act number 20 of 23. There's also content and form of disclosures. But whatever the procedures, whether in conformity with the law or otherwise, the foot soldier gave Dr. Jew and the Soka engineer each a bloody nose. My Straight Dog family, the Jew Labour Party has become, it seems, like a closed, incestuous and criminal-dominated enterprise that book no challenge and don't intend to stamp out corruption. When we think of the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Museum, when we look up the procurement of the 1,000 buckets and a contract handed to Cashley Allers. And someone reminded me of the prison construction, or the correctional facilities, to use the right word. I haven't spoken about it for some time. I'll address it on our next program. But it is said that democracy, my Straight Dog family, cannot be run by a party that has no internal democracy. The Prime Minister has received another bloody nose. Congress as well. And Garth Lucian Wilkin, recall, got the first bloody nose for having to undo something that he should not have done in the first place. What goes, my father, is the question we ask. And what goes is a foot soldier, whistleblower, and bloody noses, my Straight Dog family. And that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. But my time is done, and I got to run. But in the process, I must thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. As always, I want to thank you, the listeners. I want to thank you, the callers. I want to thank you, the emailers. All of you, our Straight Talk family. You are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I am Ian Patches Liburd, and God's spare, we will connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. So have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. If you have some time, or find some time, I should say, and let's give thanks to Almighty God. I go to the holy place at Zion this coming Sunday, God's willing. So remember as well that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday.
morning light. Give him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceive that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees, to the Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg him to take me through each day. My guardian to keep and my guide, over every step I take, he will preside. So whatever my mind conceive that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Now I'm on my way, with strength and courage from above. No man I'll fear, since God protects me with his love. Strong, pure and true,